water tested and the soil tested too.
Well, we were talking here, so that was one subject. We were working also from a groundwater standpoint, and I believe that type of addressment was covered initially back in, let's see, January, that we wrote the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
You
extensive
specifically
letter,
wrote a
probably.
letter to the PA department of, who, no, you wrote to FERC. Well, I'm not talking FERC. The PA DEP has to sign off. And so we would like, before anything gets done, we would like the PA Department of Environmental Protection, I'm not talking about FERC, I'm talking about our state. And, you know, they're involved in, you were at the meeting for the what do you call it, you just mentioned that you were at the recent meeting, and that was the PA Department of Environmental Protection that was involved in that.
No.
Well, they're not willing to do it.
Can I suggest that you wait to get Mr. Cole's letter so that the
Let's
staff
read,
can evaluate
yeah.
that, and then we take it from there?
Yeah, we haven't
Okay.
seen it, so.
I was able to go to the commission, the Bucks County Commission, and make the same request, and they were willing to listen. I don't understand why I need to, I did write it in print, but I just said the same thing that I just said to you. I'm asking you to make a request to the PA DEP for a baseline study. You mentioned yourself that you thought it was a good idea to get baseline air quality information. It'd be best if we did it ourselves too. We might be able to suggest that all the neighbors around that are affected have their water tested and post their results online or something. Maybe we, you know, that's the kind of thing, these are the kind of grassroots things we could do that don't cost a lot of money. We could suggest everybody get their water tested. We could have somebody test the water in Manderfield, which is directly downstream along the,
We have a water analysis that we're looking at with this group that I'm talking about, and the possibility of a land grant, or not land grant, a grant for that.
Is that published on the
Those things are in
website?
process, and until we get some results, it's difficult to report on that they're other than they're in process.
okay, well, it'd be helpful if you could tell us what the plan was and publish that on the website perhaps.
Okay, well, I think, let's look at the letter, and we're better positioned to respond to that letter when we see it in detail.
Okay.
I mean, those are all part of the process.
Okay,
The
but
timing is,
my request is to go directly, is to make the supervisors to make a direct request to the PA DEP. That's the request. Letter or no letter.
all right, we got your input, we'll get your letter, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Tony?
Tony, Clymer Avenue, Bognor. Don, you mentioned about, what did you say? About the board's approval for the letter to FERC, correct?
Yeah.
But when you have, hold on a minute, let me get this right. When you wanted to do the editorial, that's you as an individual, is that correct?
That's our group, small group, public group, citizens group,
Hold up, back up a minute. A public group, is that what it?
the citizens.
Here's where the problem is, it's like, when you're up there and you're viewed as a supervisor, here's where a lot of the problems come in, just so you know. That you said you have a list of questions. There's many of us in this room,
Citizens group has a group.
I understand it, but you have to decipher between whether you're acting as the board supervisor or as a West Rockhill resident. You follow me? Because when you mention about those questions, I'd like to know, I don't need to know the answers, but I mean, I'd like to know what those questions are.
Well,
And a lot of times what happens is that, in my head, and I don't know if the rest of the people in here, but the question is gonna come up is that, are you acting as a board member privately with the negotiations with Adelphia?
Yeah.
You might not be, but the problem is that that's what it appears to be. I'm not, it's just the perception of it, that's
we
why.
can clarify that now. The answer is no.
Okay, well, that's what you need to do, but when you talk
So we
about
answer
your
questions,
group.
we answer it,
Okay,
okay?
yeah,
I mean, I think I made it pretty clear was a group of citizens, which I'm a part of, that group, and they come from the Western
I mean, does the
Township.
group have officers, or because, you know, David,
Honestly,
No.
honestly, I'd like to know who the group of citizens are myself, I'd like to know who's in this group.
That's exactly why I asked the question.
Yeah, 'cause I think
there's
if,
a couple neighbors
I don't know, I'm
near the
not sure what's
the
going on.
compressor station, I'm not sure exactly.
Who makes up the group?
I think there's some of the neighbors.
Yeah, let Donna
It's a group of citizens that decide to get together
Yeah.
and do something, respond to it, in addition to whatever the township's gonna do.
I understand that, but there's many people that would like
Wanna know.
to have a meeting with Adelphia. How did you obtain that meeting, with Adelphia? And that's what just blows my mind, because I can't call them and talk to them.
Philadelphia will meet anybody that wants, they say, and they have, they'll meet with anybody who wants to talk to them.
How did you get 12 people from Adelphia to come and meet with
I
you?
don't know, they just showed up. We have been meeting with two to three people. One is a lawyer who's their marketing guy from Harrisburg, and he's a hired gun by Adelphia, I guess. And two people from Adelphia. One was, she's a lawyer, she's like, their front person, their marketing person, put it that way. And the other person was supposedly project manager one time, and they change up, to see who comes. The last time we met, they had, I don't know, 8 or 10 people there,
But they didn't know anything.
but they only have one person who speaks. And this group was formed just by, we talked and said, let's form a group and do something, because people were here complaining that the township was doing nothing, that people in the township weren't doing anything. And we said, well, let's get into this thing and find out what it's about. In the meantime, the township and their personnel have put together a response to what Adelphia and FERC have presented. And they presented that back in January. This group did a similar thing. We sent, twice we sent in submittals to them as a group of 5 or 6 people. And we have the right to do that. We brought 5 or 6 together because we could collect more knowledge and intelligence on the subject to do it. That's how we did it. So anybody can form their own group and do the same thing. We're fighting this the same as, in addition to what the township was trying to do. I don't understand where there's appearance of conflict. Both doing the same thing, separately.
I heard, I got it, I got all the answers.
Okay?
All right.
As a person, I stepped out and said, hey, anybody wanna get together and do this? And there was 5 or 6 people who said, yeah, they wanna do it. So we proceeded with that group. We've
Is
had
that
some
a-
success. And if they have responded, they give us answers.
If it is a public group, right, I'm not gonna say anything more. If it's
Yeah.
a public group, and I asked, are there officers or whoever,
No.
and David asked if he could join, but then it had to be approved by your group. Do you
Well, the
follow
group-
me? So you
The
must
group
have
gotta
officers.
decide whether they wanna bring more members in. I can't just say, yeah, come on in. There's 6 of them, 6 people
Well, then
involved in
it has
this
to
thing.
be voted upon. You must have a group, that's all I'm saying. And evidently your group has direct connection with Adelphia, because you've had multiple meetings with them. All I'm saying is if it's about transparency, and I would love to know the 18 questions, that's all I'm saying. But what are they? I don't need to know the answers, I'd just like to know what you're asking them. Maybe I could add something to it, I don't know, but there's a missing part there, that's all I'm saying.
Well, what's the missing part?
I don't know,
If a
that's what I'm
group of people
saying.
got
Can I
together and they
can I
started
know
asking
the
questions.
18 questions?
Can you
Pardon?
publish the questions on the website?
Could I know the 18 questions?
No, the group knows 18.
Yeah.
I like my questions.
The
I heard enough.
And they made, the questions
I-
came
I'm
out
at
of the same
5 minutes
document.
already.
You can read it.
I would like my
I'm up.
questions to be some of your questions, so I could find out the answers.
They're over there, but you don't get any answers. That's all I can
Well,
tell you.
I still like it to be on the list of questions.
The questions are
I belong with those people, it's not a secret society. Can I come and listen? I won't say a word, but can I come and watch your meeting with your people? I mean,
To learn.
I feel like I can't get answers from Adelphia, and then I can't get answers for
'Cause we don't
For
have
somebody
any
who's on the,
answers. Delphi didn't give any answers.
I honestly will say, I think
Yeah.
that Greg has put on the website all the information that we do know.
Right,
But
there's
from
two
the
different
township's
things, there's
perspective,
the township stuff, anything from the township,
We-
you could put in a right to know request,
Yes.
put it on the website.
I agree.
Don has a citizens group that is separate from the
Yes.
township.
And that's the group that I would like to sit with and listen.
Who are they?
It's a
That's
secret
all
society.
everybody's asking.
Beg pardon?
Everybody's asking, who is this citizens group?
Like
These ladies have been coming here for what, a year? And if they're not
Excuse me.
on that group,
We're not.
You gotta identify yourself, Frank.
You're letting
Frank
people-
Simmondar
you're
at
letting people
1030
say it.
Allentown
Shut it down.
Road.
Okay,
Shut it down.
Who were the members of this group?
we have two members from the planning commission,
What's their names?
Chris Thurston and Alex Loma. John Swearig's a part of it, Bob Linden, Kathy Wareback, she's not here. Who am I missing? That's it, and myself.
Thank you, that wasn't that hard.
Anybody, any citizens could join together and do it.
Karina Rilling, 217 South Neck Road. That sounds like it's a township group, not a citizens group, when you have planning commission members
Yeah.
Well,
and other
they're
members.
citizens.
There's not
Well,
enough to be
sure.
a quorum.
Excuse
Not a
me?
quorum of the planning commission, there's not a quorum of the board of supervisors. So
No,
there's no
but they're
quorum.
township officials, so I think that it
Not
sounds misleading, like Tony said.
Well, we're not officials, we're just residents, and that's why we present ourselves when we deal with work, so.
But you all have like a position in the township. It's not like the two ladies here who are residents and who are directly affected by this. It just sounds like it's too secretive. And when this group was formed, was there any invitation for others to join it?
No,
Or you-
that's what I recall.
Well,
We just naturally,
wouldn't you have done that if you have this group, that anyone who's affected or interested, it should have been like an ad hoc committee or something that you put together when people know
it's
that
not
it's.
affiliated with the township at all. It's not affiliated with the township at all.
But
It's a
you
bunch
have
of
town-
residents.
But you have township officials.
Well, we're residents, same as everybody
I
else.
totally understand, but the appearance isn't good. So that's all. Thank you.
What would be the conflict? I
It's
understand what-
not a conflict, it's just that you have you have elected or you have appointed officials.
They're
serving-
volunteers.
Oh.
Anybody in this committee, the only elected official would be him.
That's right, okay. So they all serve on some township committee, yet this is considered a private citizens committee. I think that's
What
opposite
is
of
wrong
what
with
it
that?
is.
What's wrong with the fact that they serve on some committee?
Oh, it's wonderful. That's wonderful that they volunteer.
And then
But this is a little bit bizarre. Like everyone else seems to be on my side and thinks that it's odd. That you have a committee that no one knows about.
It's not my
and-
committee, it's a group of people who said, hey, they're interested in doing something,
Okay, thank you.
okay? That's right.
Frank Simmondar, 1030 Allentown Road. How did these people know to volunteer to a committee, and who asked them to be volunteers?
I asked them as a citizen if they wanted to get together. and
You
work
asked them
with
as a citizen, not as a supervisor.
people. Exactly.
And how come these two ladies, or at least one of them, wasn't asked? Or the 20 people that were coming to these meetings that lived right in the backyard weren't considered?
But anybody-
Everybody that was on there, and everybody's right, whether they're elected, appointed, or what, they're recognized as officials of the township, and there's no real public citizen not holding a committee position that was asked to be on that committee.
Kathy Wireback. She's the
Beg
one.
pardon?
Kathy Wireback
Three,
is a citizen that lives up there.
Yeah,
John,
she can.
where the-
Kathy Wireback and Bob Linden.
Bob
How could she
Linden.
know?
And how close were they to the activity that these people were doing?
Kathy's very close.
She's
Yeah,
across-
Kathy's
she's
I
across
think
the
Kathy
street.
lives
She's across the road,
almost at the site.
across the
Yeah.
street, yeah.
And
Not
so
to change
if-
the subject.
If you
but-
wanna fight this, Yes, citizens, you gotta get together and fight it.
Right.
Well, let's expand the group then.
Beg pardon?
Let's expand the group. We are fighting it.
Well,
The thing about the
You have
group,
to be recognized.
I'm trying to be
Just
recognized.
And say
Your
your
name.
name and you gotta give your
Name
name
and
and address.
It's Pamela West, 2440 Shoecraft Road. It seems that the part of the role of this group would be to educate everybody else, because you are learning things that other people may not be privy to. So I would say, why not have these meetings be open to the public, even if the public sits in the back row with their mouths shut, but to listen to the nature of discussion that you guys are working through and the questions you're provoking, or asking, so that we could, can spark some light bulbs and some other avenues of pursuits that the other citizens are trying to do. Us citizens don't know anything.
well, that's what we were citizens, we didn't know anything, so we decided to kind of band together and find out what's going on.
But it would be helpful if, I believe it would be helpful if we understood your trajectory of where you're going with the information, or what your line of inquiry is, so that maybe we would glean something that would improve our lines of inquiry and action.
But if we
But
learn something, we haven't learned anything.
But
We
you
know
learn
answers.
by the questions.
Beg pardon?
You learn by the questions. You learn by what you're trying to figure out. It's one way.
Well, a lot of the same things that they've been saying. We had the same views.
But we don't know that. I don't know that.
Well, if I hadn't told you, nobody would know, right? But I
Well, we have
volunteered.
people that we're talking to,
Okay.
but why not pool the
Excuse me,
resources?
Don has given an overview though here every month. Now,
Every month.
you haven't been to every meeting every month, but he gives information on what they have
Township
learned. He
and
has
then-
been providing that. And I think there's 3 cameras that are going, or at least there's 2 here tonight.
But that's not this committee,
No, I know that, but
right?
if he gives an overview of what knowledge he knows, he's passing information along to the citizens of the
True.
township. Am I right?
Well, true,
Okay.
but it's,
What's the
but it may
problem?
not be.
I
Well,
just have one more question.
2 minutes is up.
One time.
I have one more question. This
Okay.
editorial that you're writing, where does that go? Who does it go to? Who publishes it? Who presents it?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
But,
It's an idea,
okay,
okay?
but I'm curious. It sounds like a good idea, but I wanna know where, is it going to the newspapers? Is it
He
going?
did say it was going to the newspapers.
Uh-huh.
I
mean,
just have one more question.
You're talking about something that hasn't been created yet, if it's created.
That's a weird question.
I just have one
We're
more
looking
question.
for every avenue we can to
Well, I
get.
appreciate
in
that
the
a
door.
great deal.
Yeah.
Beg pardon?
I appreciate that a great deal. I'm very glad that you're doing that.
I sat here at a meeting several months ago, and there were many criticisms from this group who was here, whoever it was, that nobody was doing anything about it. Township was doing something about it. In addition to that, after that meeting, I said to some people, would you be interested to get together and see what could be done about this? And some of them said yes. So we got together and we tried to technically wade through that stack of papers
Right.
and whatever information we had.
In all
Try
due
to-
respect, Don,
Beg pardon?
I was at the meeting where you talked about it, and right before you were getting together with Adelphia, and you specifically said that you were gonna limit the number of people because Adelphia didn't want a lot of people to have to talk to, and that was why the group was limited. And that's probably on
They won't,
the
they will not,
videotapes,
they will
but
not.
at this point, there's no reason why this citizens group could not be expanded.
They will not meet with a public group. That's,
Because I
That's
asked to
their
be a
position,
member of it,
so-
and I was denied.
okay,
I just have one more question.
make sure we get it.
Yeah, and it's not about that, so. But we really are concerned about the emergency management thing.
So
And
everybody is.
we're really scared because, Bucks County Emergency Management just sweeps us under the rug. And the planning commission that we went to with Cliff over here 2 weeks ago, they didn't know anything, did they? I mean, they just, yeah,
They deferred
that was-
everything to West Rockhill.
that was not good. And, I mean, they were very polite, don't get me wrong, but, so, we're really concerned about, what if there's a gas leak? What if there is a fire, cause they have smokestacks and such? I mean,
Those are-
goodbye, you know,
Those are unanswered questions, they've been asked.
yeah, but, like,
In fact,
is
they
it,
they did have a meeting with some of the fire, but nothing came out of the meeting.
but who's supposed to do that? I mean, I know there's a pipeline hazardous material safety agency, PHMSA, and so where are they? Like, does the township contact them? Cause just so you know, the county's pushing it off onto you guys. They're throwing you under the
There's
bus.
training that is made available that gets sent out to local fire companies.
Training on.
According to what I read, they can't go near those things
No.
when they act up. That's, yeah,
Local
fire
things to
company?
quarantine
they're not
them.
allowed to because there's thermal radiation that comes out of them and they're instructed
You allowed to go near them?
to stay away from it, yeah.
No.
That's why the thing in Texas burned out for 2 weeks and they closed all the schools and everything around there because they have to let them burn out.
Yes, the automatic
Yeah,
shutters.
yeah. So just wanted to share that because,
Yeah.
yeah.
We do have an emergency personnel position in the
Right.
township, right?
But
Correct.
she's involved in with all the fire companies. Mr. Collingwood.
David Collingwood, Bart Road. About half an hour ago, I questioned this group when I asked to join the group, or at least I expressed an interest in joining the group. I don't know who the leader of the group is. I don't know if you tonight are acting as the chairman of the board of supervisors, or you're acting as the head of this group, which it sounds like you're speaking for. On here, it has your name next to Adelphia, so there's a conflict here that Tony talked about. In what role are you actually
The role that they just
tonight? What do you?
cited
what-
before.
Because I would like to join the group, and I don't know who to talk to join the group. Do I talk to you? Do I talk to Chris? Do I talk to John? Who do I talk to?
Well, some of the group is here, not all of it's here. When all
Who was the
group's here-
spokesman for the group?
I don't know anybody's spokesman. I've been reporting what we've been able to try to accomplish. That's what I've been doing at every meeting. I mean, I find it puzzling that there's a mystery about the fact that a bunch of people get together and wanna try to do something and fight this issue. I mean, there are 5,300 people in this community. And every one of them, they could all join, but nobody was doing it. So somebody had to do it. That was our view, and we decided to see what we could do.
Well, from my
So now-
perspective, I'd like to see the three people that are up there are elected officials be the ones that are leading the charge for fighting it. And if you're representing a citizens group, but not representing the head of the supervisors, then, then where are we?
Well, that's a wrong assumption if you think that's what's going on, because they're involved at the degree that we can. Greg is our liaison person with.
I made a
Delphi.
direct request to ask for the township to lead the charge in making baseline scientific data. And there are ways that we could do this that would be relatively inexpensive. We don't need to go out and buy, we can get people to monitor their own wells. We can ask the PA Department of Environmental, these are the things that we're trying to get the board, not just this group. We're trying to get the three supervisors to sign on for, and where necessary, allocate funds. That's the level of involvement that I'm hoping to see
Wait, and
out of my
we-
elected
We
officials.
heard you say that. You said you have a letter, and we haven't seen that letter yet. Just got it
Okay,
this
but
week.
I don't need a letter to make the request verbal, okay?
Well, you've made that request, right? We
Okay,
just
well,
spent
I
4
don't-
times tonight, you made it.
the response was.
Mr. Chairman, you made a request for a motion to send a letter to FERC.
Yes.
It was not, the motion was not made or seconded. I didn't know if you wanted to make sure that gets into the minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and second, all in favor?
All right.
Thank you very much, Tony?
Tony Bogner, Clymer Avenue, done. Am I correct? Alex is in your group, correct?
Who's that?
Alex.
Oh, Alex, yeah, Alex.
Am I correct that he works for, Barry Associates? Am I correct about that?
He does.
That's a pro-gas company. It's a pro-gas build-out company. Let's just call an ace and ace. That's where my hang-up is. Doesn't look good when you're trying to negotiate with Adelphia.
Adelphia is not a gas company. Please understand.
New Jersey Resources, yes they are, they're pro-gas. That's what they're for. So I'm saying, I made my
They're also
point.
pro-oil. They're in about 5 different divisions. This is a new division they've just started. This is New Jersey Resources. And they created Adelphia. And it's a shadow, there's about 10 or 12 people with big titles and so forth. And that's the company.
It's hard to have somebody that's against a compressor station, that's where their line of work is. That's what I'm saying. That's where they get that's where they,
Conflict.
Why is that a conflict? If somebody's working against him,
okay.
if the individual's working against this,
I'm just saying that notoriously they're known for being pro-gas. That's all I'm saying. That's what that business is from. You
you're
can,
talking about the business. This is an individual.
and
we're
that's
talking
who he
about.
works for. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have some old business if you wanna move on.
Pardon?
I have some old business if you wanna move
Okay.
on.
Can I just have one more question? I'm sorry, I just need to clarify
Sure.
something about
That-
emergency
that-
management.
That was, we're not in public comment yet.
If you have,
Oh.
no.
We're not in public comment yet. We're still on the agenda in old business.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
No,
nothing.
Don gave an
Oh, we're
overview and
done?
everybody started,
Oh, I'm
Ask the
sorry.
question.
We didn't know that.
No, we didn't.
which is way out of line.
Let's help to pay
Go
attention.
ahead.
It really
Sorry.
helps to pay attention to
You're
what's going on.
We didn't know. Oh,
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, old business.
Business.
Last month, we had Greg reach out to PennDOT regarding our state roads and issues of state roads, Cat Hill, Ridge Valley Road, Allentown, and Ridge Road, and the old 309, which is called Buckham Pike. And we got a response. We wanted to know the schedule of what their work they were gonna be doing. And we got a response saying that,
Well, the first response that I got is, we'll get a response back to you later.
okay,
And then when I reminded them, they said, we're out fixing potholes.
so
That
that's,
was the schedule.
that's the mentality of the schedule of PennDOT that we have with the concerns of the road conditions that we have regarding our state roads, so,
And one of the items on the list is Ridge Valley Road, which if you remember 3 years ago, Ron Martin came in to talk about it, why it wasn't done.
yeah.
Still not.
And now I see sections of Allentown Road where the debris is in the ditches, and it's eroding the corner of the road out, the edge of the road out, especially down towards the campground, going down the hill. That has been a big concern, and I don't know what to do other than to continue to lean on PennDOT, but we're not getting very good response at all out of it. So, I'm just sharing that information. We're trying.
Challenge with no response.
You have a hand raised back there.
That's right.
On that deal with Allentown Road, when a tree that is, I guess, right on the road, is that PennDOT's tree? Because they did come down and take care of that one. But now where Woods pools are, where Woods lives,
I saw that.
that's been there for 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
Now, I assume that's PennDOT's.
It is,
in the right of
it's
way.
Dave Wood's tree, but it's PennDOT's right away. And, you know, we make requests for them to take it down, to deal with it, but
I guess as long as it's not on the road, they're just gonna,
that's exactly what we've experienced and what we've seen in the cases of, you know, the one out there on Ridge Valley Road that I've had identified for how many
Yeah.
years? That was dead standing on the,
and the other thing, where they put those white lines on Allentown Road, you ride up and down there, they're almost deteriorating in so many places, it's not even funny that they're onto the blacktop, not the, you know, the white line, they're beyond the white
The
line.
sides of the road are eroding, and the
Right.
line goes right through the erosion.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I've been trying to explain of the importance of making sure the ditches are kept clean. That debris is causing that problem. but we can't even get, when we get a response that we're fixing potholes for wanting to know your schedule on maintaining the roads, it's pretty lame.
And we can't touch it, so.
From a government standpoint, I've been getting these phone calls from Fitzpatrick about these town hall meetings he wants to conduct and all that. If I talk to Fitzpatrick about PennDOT, you think that does any good?
No, because he's a congressman.
He's federal.
He's
He's
federal.
federal.
You need to reach out to, it might help, it did help one time when I did a ride around with, Craig Stats.
Stats?
Yes, you
And
get
Craig,
the,
Keep the pressure on.
and Craig was very helpful with Finland Road,
yes,
so.
yes, so he would be the guy that you should call as a citizen.
All right, I'll stop in his office and
Get
see.
everybody calling.
I've talked to Craig also about this, so.
Okay,
Go ahead.
thank you.
That's the only thing I had under new business.
Your name.
No,
Or old business, I'm sorry.
no, it's
Old
not.
business.
Old business,
Okay,
new business.
anything under new business, gentlemen, either one,
I have none.
No, nothing.
new business. Okay, we'll open up for public comment, and I think I'll suggest this, that we've heard a lot about this compressor station. And a lot of people are working on it, and some are private, some are the township, and, even some of the people that, we employ for services have worked on it, so it's an issue that's being worked. It's an issue that's very complex, very frustrating, and the only avenue is through FERC. And I understand it's got all the EPA and all that, and those are all being addressed in time, and, you just gotta find an opening. Right now, there is none. And a lot of people are looking to find out how to do it, how to handle it. And that's what this, our activity, this township, and the activity of the group that's been working on this. So,
Good on it. Public comment.
any other new business?
No, it's public
I'm
comment.
sorry, public comment.
Yeah,
Good.
Judy Benninger, Massey Road. Greg, did you say something about our emergency management lady? I think she's a girl, right, from the department, the fire department. Anyhow, did you say that that she will have training for a gas compressor station?
No, she gets trained in emergency management.
So
She
emergency
actually
management, I
has-
remember one time I spoke with you and you said emergency management was like weather. So has our emergency management training now shifted to more, complex for gas compressor
No,
stations?
it is, emergency management's a broad term. It's whenever the township has an emergency. When I was speaking to you, most of our emergencies are weather events, hurricanes, snowstorms, stuff like that. When it comes to emergency management, it is knowing how to notify people, knowing how to get the information out, that type of stuff. If an event happens at the compressor station, there's going to be switches that turn off, and it's going